Thanks for stopping by here to Hawkeye's House of Horrors. I'm Hawkeye, and first off, I thought I'd put on the right attire here for this one. Um, and I'm going to talk about the Slumber Party Massacre that came out in 1982 and do a review for this one here. It definitely has a reputation. I guess this series of films, there's three of them, as well as a remake. Um, it's scantily clad women walking around at a slumber party and being attacked by a serial killer male that comes over. But I'm going to talk about this one here to start off with Slumber Party Massacre. And interesting to note, and I think it was the case in all three of them, I think. This one, it was produced, directed, and written by women. So it was produced and directed by Amy Jones. This was her directorial debut. She went on to do a few other films. One in particular was Made to Order. I think Ali Sheedy was in that one. She was more known as a writer. She went on and was a writer for Beethoven, the one with the dog, Indecent Proposal, and The Relic. As well, it was the screenplay was done by Rita Mae Brown, and she was actually like a feminist novelist, if you can believe it or not, when you watch this film. And she actually did an uncredited write, I see, for one of the Tales from the Crypt shows as well, back in the 90s. As well as Jones stepped in and did a rewrite on the script as well. Now I have a copy of the film on DVD. There it is. Oh dear, oh dear. And that's the original poster and everything. This girl here, of all the women that are on there, she was actually in the film. The other was not. But that is Andre Honora. She played Jackie in the film. Now, um, originally Brown had written the screenplay, and it was actually a parody of slashers. So it was kind of like certainly a slasher, but it was definitely heavily into the comedy vein. And when it was bought, it was distributed by New World Pictures. So it was, my guess is Roger Corman that bought the script, but it was thought, hey, no, actually, we're going to direct this more seriously and do a straight up slasher. Against Brown's wishes, that's not exactly what she was thinking when she wrote this. It was a parody. But the film still does have some laughs in it, some good ones. I'm not sure if those were in the original script or added in later by Jones, whatever, but it's got a funny bone to this film as well, for sure. Now, as I said, it was distributed by New World Pictures back when Corman still owned it. He later sold it, I believe, the following year. And it was released on September the 10th, 1982 in LA. That's where this is actually set, is in Los Angeles. And this was definitely a low budget affair. That it had a budget of only $220,000. When you convert that into 2025, it still isn't $1 million. It's only $730,000 to make this film, and it hit a home run at the theater or in the box office. We went on to make $3.6 million in 2025. That would be just under 12 million bucks. So you really increased your earnings or your money at the box office with this one. Now it clocks in at just 76 minutes. It's a pretty short one. Um, it doesn't take long to watch, so that's a good thing. Um, is it long enough? Yeah, I guess so. It's just a little short. But anyways, it is a fairly short movie. So I'll go into the story, and I do really enjoy this film. I've seen, I haven't seen the remake quite yet, but I've seen the other Slumber Party Massacres, and they were bad. Ugh, not good. But for some reason, the original one, I really enjoyed it. But anyways, I'm going to get into the story here and delve a little deeper into the film as well. So this story is about this teen high school girl named Trish Devereaux, played by Michelle Michaels, and her parents are going out of town. I think they're going on flying to the islands or something, or going to Hawaii. I forget exactly where they're going, but they're going to be going. It's funny in the scene where they're leaving. It seems like Trisha's mother is like anywhere between 5 to 10 years older than her, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyways, they're leaving town, so Trish is gonna have a slumber party with her best buds. Remember, no boys allowed though. Okay, no boys. So coming to the party, we got the snobbish Diane, played by Gina Marie Jackie, played by the Honore, and she really likes pizza too. You come to find, and yeah, we'll get to that later. And then Kim, who comes armed with Michelob and some Maui Wowie. Oh boy. So here comes the horror part of the story, though. We have Russ Thorne, played by Michael Valella. And sorry, Kim is played by Deborah DeLisso as well. So Russ Thorne, played by Valella, he has escaped from prison. And I think it was back in 1969. This is actually only 13 years later. But he killed 5 people back then and sent to prison, and he has escaped now. So, what's he going to do? He's going to show up to this slumber party unannounced and also uninvited with a power drill, and oh boy, see what can happen. Now, personally, I think Russ Thorne is a highly underrated horror serial killer. Sorry, I just dropped the paper there. Um, Now, this was the only film he was in, so maybe he's not all that underrated. He's only in one movie, but I really like certain elements of his character. Um, for example, I love that he's got his signature weapon, the power drill. He does use a knife, but usually it's this power drill he's using. Um, so he also has this super scary salt and pepper look in his hair. Just kidding. And wears spooky denim jacket and denim jeans. Yeah. But anyways, there's certain, as I said, elements like the weapon that I really like. And I gotta say, this is not me. I think this is well known, or a lot of other people feel this way as well. I do feel the power drill has definitely got this phallic symbol, or it's meant to symbolize the penis, showing this male aggression or this sexual dominance or aggression by the male that these females need to face and overcome and defeat. Um, so it's interesting. So I kind of maybe got that from Rita Mae Brown, maybe the feminist novelist. I don't know. Just taking a stab at that. But yeah, that's what I definitely find with the weapon of choice here used by this serial killer in this film. Now, to go along with that, I think it's like my favorite shot of the film when Diane, she's on the ground screaming, looking up to this serial killer, and he's standing over her. So his legs are like this. She's looking up at him, screaming, and the drill is pointed downwards, like between his legs. So, like, that definitely isn't on purpose. Or, sorry, it is on purpose. That's not by mistake. That's what it's not. So, it's a really cool shot. much like the poster of the film when it came out as well. And then along the way, we have the new neighbor, Valerie, or the new high school student, Valerie, played by Robin Steele, and her rather annoying sister, Courtney, played by Jennifer Myers. And in the final act, they stop by the party to see what's going on, and there's a showdown between uh, Russ Thorne and the rest of the surviving cast to see what can happen. So, but anyways, definitely things with the film. Definitely this one's not for everyone. There is a lot of nudity in this one. Hint, hint. Um, Now the boys in this, they're pretty horny, or yeah, they're pretty horny. They like to watch the girls' basketball team. All these girls are on this team. Why? Well, to see jugs bounce, really. I mean, to see if they're working on their defense. They like watching the girls make strawberry daiquiris, just to make sure they're doing the right alcohol to strawberry ratio. That's the only reason. Um, but this film knows exactly what it is. And I think that may have come from Roger Corman, who um, owned New World Pictures, but he had kind of a checklist of things he wanted in the film. And Amy Jones was fine and just, okay, you want that, you want that, you want that, you want that, boom, we'll do it. She just went out and she did it. And I don't know, but it definitely knows what it is, but it also, yeah, because of that, it goes over the line too, in certain areas, and definitely within the nudity. Certain things, certain scenes where they go over the line. For example, there's a really a total gratuitous shower scene involving the basketball team that absolutely does diddly squat to the plot or anything in the movie beyond just seeing these women naked in the shower. Um, okay, so there's that. There's also a scene with the two boys, two horny boys. There's Neil, played by Joseph Allen Johnson, and Jeff, played by David Milburn. They watch these women undress while they're in the middle or close proximity to of this wide open window that they're undressing in front of. How they didn't see them, we'll never know. But those scenes do go over the line for sure. But whatever. Yeah, those two scenes in particular come to mind and going over the top. But um, I guess it kind of led to other films maybe after this, the success that this film brought, and trying to follow suit, like the two sequels, for example. The shower scene. That was one scene supposedly that Roger Corman was like, we must have that in the film, and it's like, okay, so it was put in the film. I loved in this film. I really picked up on it this time. Is about halfway through the film, or like once the slumber party's rolling and everybody's going, having a good time. The girls, there's three of them there. They're trying to figure out how the LA Dodgers scored all of their runs in the previous game. They scored 6 runs. So they end up calling their coach, played by Pamela Roylance, um, to find out exactly how they scored all of these runs. And supposedly it was based on, from what I found, it looks like it was based on a real game that the Dodgers played. Um, and but anyways, it may be the real horror of the story. Can you today? What would we do? We would just Google that shit. We would find that out pretty quick. Just type it out on the computer, find out. how they won. They didn't have computers back in 1982. You would have to either have a newspaper or remember how that happened the previous night or whenever that game was. So the horror is, can you actually go through life today and not do that? Not become the Google King or the Google Queen and find all the information out you need. Yeah, very scary. And then I really like the pizza man's death. He gets both of his eyes drilled out and then falls into the home with his pizza. Deliveries here. Um, and I also like the shot nearing the end here. Kim and Trish in Trish's bedroom. They're trying to hide. Got a, uh, the door jammed and everything. The killer's in the house. So they're sitting there talking to each other. And you see in the background, Russ Thorne is coming through the window behind them that they cannot see. I thought that was pretty good. Adds nice suspense to that scene there. I thought that was pretty good. Um, and then Thorne, by the end of the film, is really showing up how messed up he is with the little grin he does when he lays on the floor and puts a blanket over him, like he's having his own slumber party. Pretty messed up. Um, he doesn't say much, but when he does, it's really just to show you perhaps why he's doing this, why he's attacking these girls because they're so pretty. Pretty creepy. Pretty messed up stuff there from Russ Thorne. Um, Now, definitely one smallish problem I have with the film, or like within the story side of things, or how it's written, is I definitely find like Valerie and Courtney, I think they're next door or two houses down. I think they're right next door. I find when it goes to them, excuse me, like from the slumber party to them, I find it very paddish, like it's padding out the film. Um, and it's actually breaking up what possibly could be a nice paced slasher kind of held within the walls of the home. But then you go over to the sisters so you can see them bickering at each other, or I don't know, it really pads the film a bit. And it's only 76 minutes, as I said, so it's not that long. So they really needed to add something in here to make it a little longer. I'm not saying both those characters shouldn't have been there. I think it would definitely be fine in keeping Valerie in it, but maybe make her all alone at home. Show her studying or something and hearing the noise next door and paying attention to them or whatever, and reverting back to her here and there. And then her really showing up in the third act like she does in this. But I don't know. I may have went a different way to try and stay in Trisha's home a little bit longer. It's not like you're not in there a lot, but it's just sort of, I don't know, reverting back to them. It isn't quite as good, I guess. I don't know. But as I said, it kind of is padding the film, in my opinion. And then, not to mention, okay, this is 1982. Is Courtney not actually old enough to like look after herself? Because I swear Valerie's there to like babysit her. And I don't know how old she is, but she's got to be like 14. I don't know, but she looks like she's 20 pretending she's 14. I don't even know how old she is. But if she's supposed to be like 10 or 11, no, she's way older than that. So like, I don't know. I just, in my mind, I'm like, I think Courtney's old enough to look after herself here, guys. But anyways, um, and then as well with those characters, their last name is Bates. So that's got to be for me a nod to Psycho, Norman Bates, giving them the last name Bates. Now the music to the film, I actually really liked it. It's really good. It was actually done by the brother of the director. His name is Ralph Jones, He actually went on to do the score to another film Jones did called Love Letters, starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Never seen that one. I think it came out the following year, but I really enjoy it. I can actually hear the music right now in my head. It's super effective and leads kind of towards a very gothic sounding score, but it's interesting because it's done on like a keyboard or like synthesizer. So it very much puts you into 1982 at the same time. So it feels very modern at that time, or puts you in the 80s listening to the score. So I really thought that was pretty good. Now this film has got a body count of 12, which is pretty good for slash film 1982. So, the bodies keep stacking up as we go along in this film. And filming began in the summer of 1981. And it lasted only 3 weeks, and they wrapped up filming. So it was quick, quick filming. As I said, it only had a budget of $220,000. So there you go. So yeah, and interesting. Like when I was going watching this, I was like, man, I'm surprised they never remade this film. Only to find out after I watched it, oh, remade it. Back in 2021, I think. So I've never seen it. See if I can find it, watch it, maybe someday give you a review for that. I'm not expecting much. I really enjoyed this film, even though it is flawed and it is definitely for a certain taste. And if you can go in smiling or expecting the cheesiness, I guess, to happen, you might enjoy yourself. But I will definitely go through and do these sequels, Slumber Party Massacre 2, Slumber Party Massacre 3, review those. I might actually watch the sequel tonight. I really didn't like it. I've seen it a few times, but hey, give it another try. See what I think. Give you a review. So that's it. That's Slumber Party Massacre. So, um, anyways, I hope you have yourself an excellent night. And if you're inviting the friends over, remember lock the door. Don't order pizza. Just make your own pizza, frozen pizza or something like that. And yeah, stay with that and watch out for guys with power drills. So, anyways, have yourself an excellent night.